Friends, gather round. We're diving headfirst into the wonderful world of nuclear weapons. Buckle up because it's going to be a bumpy ride. Remember those NNSA workers the Trump administration unceremoniously fired? Yep, those folks responsible for making sure our nukes, don't accidentally go boom. Well, apparently someone realized that maybe letting go of the people who prevent nuclear meltdowns wasn't the brightest idea, so they decided to rehire them. Sounds simple, right? Wrong. It turns out that keeping track of employee contact information isn't exactly a government strong suit. The NNSA is scrambling, trying to find these people. It's like a game of hide and seek, but with the fate of humanity hanging in the balance. The irony here is thicker than a bowl of cold grits. These firings were part of a cost-cutting measure. Because when you're dealing with weapons of mass destruction, pinching pennies is always the priority. And now they're spending even more money trying to rehire the very same people they just fired. It's government efficiency at its finest. This whole situation is a complete mess, and it highlights the bureaucratic chaos that seems to plague these organizations. Now let's talk about the NNSA. This agency is responsible for the safety, security, and effectiveness of our nuclear arsenal. That's right, they're the ones who make sure our nukes are ready to go if, God forbid, we ever need them. They oversee a network of labs and facilities like Los Alamos and Lawrence Livermore. Those places where really smart people in lab coats probably spend their days trying to figure out how to split atoms in increasingly creative ways. The NNSA's job is no walk in the park. It's a high-pressure, high-stakes gig, and they play a critical role in keeping our country safe. But here's the thing, the NNSA has a $25 billion annual budget. Let me repeat that, $25 billion. That's more than the GDP of some small countries. And what do we get for all that money? Well, aside from the peace of mind that comes with knowing our nukes are in good hands, hopefully, we get a whole lot of modernization because apparently nukes, like your iPhone, need constant upgrades. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're about to talk numbers. The US is projected to spend a mind-boggling $756 billion on nuclear forces over the next decade. That's enough money to solve world hunger, cure cancer, and still have enough left over to buy everyone on Earth a lifetime supply of those little umbrellas they put in fancy cocktails. So, what are we getting for this astronomical sum? Well, we're getting new submarines to carry our nukes, new missiles to launch them, and of course, those aforementioned upgrades to the nukes themselves. Now, I'm no nuclear physicist, though I did once play one in a community theater production of Dr. Strangelove. But I can't help but wonder if, maybe, just maybe, we're spending a tad too much on things that could potentially destroy all life on Earth. It's a bit like spending your entire life savings on a state-of-the-art fire extinguisher for a house made entirely of gasoline-soaked kindling. It doesn't exactly inspire confidence, does it? And speaking of not inspiring confidence, let's talk about our former Commander-in-Chief, Donald J. Trump. Now, Trump's stance on nuclear weapons has always been a bit, shall we say, erratic. On the one hand, he's talked about the need for global denuclearization. He's even gone so far as to criticize the cost of building new nuclear weapons. On the other hand, he's also boasted about the size and power of our nuclear arsenal. He's even suggested that we should use them or lose them, which, and I cannot stress this enough, is not something you want to hear from the person with the nuclear launch codes. It's this kind of mixed messaging that makes it so difficult to understand what's really going on with US nuclear policy. Are we trying to reduce our reliance on nuclear weapons, or are we doubling down on them? Are we trying to prevent nuclear war, or are we sleepwalking towards it? Honestly, I have no idea. And I'm not sure anyone does.